I'm Leslie, and I am a Christian mystic. A Christian mystic, how do I define that? Well, basically, I follow the teachings of Christ. A Christian mystic, in my mind, is one who seeks a deeper understanding of the teachings of Christ, and also the mysticism part is finding that relationship between you and God directly, experiencing God, knowing God, seeking God, all as a first person experience. That's what mysticism means to me. Well, I have a healing center in Norman, Oklahoma. It's called the My Lightworker Institute. And My Lightworker Institute has been around for a few years now. What makes my work different is that I want to have a relationship with my clients.
Oh, hi, I'm Sharon Sala. I'm a New York Times bestselling author. Been published for 26 years, and I'm a native of Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember how I found Leslie. It was the big intro article that the News Star did when she moved to town. I thought, oh my gosh, my answer to problems has arrived.
A couple of years ago, I had seen Leslie's name in a Natural Awakenings newspaper, and I had thought about making her an appointment with her at that time, but for some reason I didn't. I had been seeing spiritual teachers and going to classes for a couple of years prior to that, having had my own experiences. And then one day, I believe this was in January of 2016, I follow a group, a spiritual community called Morning Star on Facebook, and I had watched a video that Leslie had spoke on there the Sunday prior, and I really loved what she said, and that's when I finally made an appointment with her.
Found Leslie through a friend that had seen her after losing her daughter, and they told me about her about 6 months after I'd lost my son.
I met Leslie several years ago when I was at a public event and she was doing readings, and I just, looked at everyone giving a reading, and she just stuck out to me, and I went to her and she did a reading that was pretty right on.
I found her through my psychologist. Actually, she recommended that I see Leslie. I was having some anxiety and depression because my mom had been battling ovarian cancer for probably about 4 years at this point, and there had been a change in her health that was pretty significant, and I just couldn't imagine how the earth would still spin without my mom on it. And
I've been going through some stuff, and I found her online, and I booked online, and I go to my first appointment, and I talk about how I want to focus on getting my life together and love, and the things that would set me up for success and all this.
She was on the radio, I believe it was 98.9, and she was very interesting and had a lot of callers call in. And I'm a psychotherapist in Edmond, and quite a few of my clients wanted to have a psychic medium person that they could go to. So I really super liked her voice. I liked how she did all of the calls. So I have referred to her, and quite a number of my clients have gone.
My wife found Leslie and wanted to do heard her on the radio and wanted us to come down and see her together. And I didn't believe in any of that type of stuff, so I said, there's no way I'm going.
Well, I was listening to the radio, and that was after my husband and I, we just lost our business, and we were feeling kind of, what are we gonna do now?
The question I had with Leslie, how can I describe it? How do you describe drowning and then finding that lifesaver?
After that first session, I absolutely loved it. She gave me homework to do, and Sometimes it was really difficult to do that homework, but I did it.
I enjoyed the session a lot, and I like that she told me that my stress level was really high and some ways to bring it down. So that was a really important piece of my questions that I had. And I think she's a very honest and very compassionate person. She comes across that way on video, and I got to see her live.
Between the sessions and the classes that she's given, the things that I've learned, the most important thing for all of us to learn is to love ourselves. If we don't love ourselves first, then we can't help others learn how to love themselves. And so that's the only thing I can really explain about that experience, is that a wealth of knowledge just has come to me, and just a very enlightening experience. I see things with different eyes, even when it comes to old things. You know, I look back at the Bible and things of that sort, and now I see them differently than I used to. And I think I see them with more of a Christ-like, we're taught to, we want to be more Christ-like, and we strive for that, and it's hard, but I think now with the new enlightenment that I've received, I think I see things with more of a Christ-like eye.
My first session with Leslie was amazing. I just left with a lot of peace, and knowing that whatever was going to happen with my mom or in life in general, that it would be okay. Like, I was able to start like praying and learning about how we can work to heal our bodies, and then also just like that every soul has their own choice. And
Leslie has encouraged me to not only look at my past lives, but it has helped me in my current and present life, not only with my children, but in my personal life, with my growth, personal experiences that I've had with healthcare industry.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't believe it all. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was you give the people's names and you can go Google them. And she was able to tell me things about my childhood that there's no way that she could have known. No research could have been done for her to hit everything that she hit. And again, everything just kept piling up about our business, a real estate deal with my family, all of that stuff. In fact, she told me that I'm going to be made whole in my real estate deal with my family, and that's coming true now.
No.
I wasn't pulling anything. All I know is that I didn't want to have any part of any of the psychic stuff. I mean,
And I remember when she said that you're gonna have a lot of prosperity.
she did say that.
And back then, I was like,
We'd lost everything, lost our business, lost everything,
Yeah.
and we got to the point where we ended up starting an online business. We were down to $146.
yes.
Yes.
So
Our first year of sales were $186,000.
Yeah.
Well, I joined a dating site, and I met a man, and he didn't live where I live. He lived one state away, but we seemed to really click, and I was really excited, and, it just really progressed fast. And we hadn't met yet, but we had, talked on the phone and Skyped and, had planned on meeting. Well, he all of a sudden just ghosted me one day. And I'd had an appointment with Leslie the next day, and I went to her house, and I showed up on her porch in tears. And I'm like, I'm a mess. And she kind of smiles and says, well, I specialize in messes. And I sit down, and she tells me, if you weren't crying, I'd high five you, because you pulled in a past life suitor, and you were together previously. It was very strong and powerful and passionate and all this stuff. But yeah, he is not meant to be for you now. She kind of mentioned some anger issues or whatever. And so I just thought, that's kind of funny. And, I did see the humor that I focused so hard on love. I didn't focus on my highest good love. And, so we switched that up real quick, found the right guy, and my life is perfectly on track.
And that 2 hours changed my life. If you asked me what kind of session it was, I would have to call it a sampler, because it has an official name, but that's truly what it was. I got a little bit of everything that day. And two of the key things was she reconnected with my late husband who had passed. How do I know it was him? For the last 2 months of his life, I told him, when you pass, don't leave me pennies. Do not leave me pennies. Leave me quarters, leave me dimes, leave me 50-cent pieces, leave me dollars. But don't leave me pennies. I need to know it's you. So the first thing she said from James was he told me that he can't throw you pennies. So I knew from that moment on that she was talking to James. She also connected with my dad and my grandmother. I'm very blessed by those moments. But more importantly, she looked at me and the angels shared what they saw for me and how I could live a more fulfilling life if I could make that choice to do so. She didn't ask me to make that choice today. She just explained that it was a choice I had. And I never really thought about this being a choice I had to live a different, more loving life, more fulfilling life. So since that day in June, I've continued to work on myself and continued to work with Leslie. She continually amazes me in her ability to bring messages from the angels and messages that I need to hear right on time, just when I need them.
I guess the most important call that she did was when I was in the lawyer's office to, it wasn't going to bring my son back, but I just wanted maybe nobody else's child to go through it. But just screaming inside of myself, knowing that I couldn't do that, and her calling me. I didn't know her well personally at that point, and I had seen her, I want to say only one time at that point. I can't remember if I'd seen her twice, but I know not enough for her to know me, only once. And, when she called me then and gave me, the answer from David, that's when I had no doubts about her. How much of the angels and the power that she had speaking to her at that point.
And I'm in the car, I'm in the interstate, going 75 miles an hour, and all of a sudden this male person in spirit starts coming through, and he's telling me to call his mom, to call right now. And at that moment, I'm driving. It's not really safe to channel while driving, so I'm thinking, okay, not now. You're gonna have to wait. I'm really busy. Now's not the time. So I'm just putting along the highway, and I keep hearing, now, you've got to do it now. And I'm like, you're making me frantic, And so it's like, pull the car over now, make the phone call now. I just keep hearing, now, you got to do it now. It has to be now. And I'm like, okay, clearly this is an emergency. So I pull the car over. I'm on the side of the interstate, and I still to this day cannot tell you how I got the number. All I know is I dialed it. And there's I'm the person, nobody answers, so I still don't know who I'm really calling. And I just leave this message going, I don't know what you're doing, but don't do what you're doing.
It's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, don't. You don't have to. And it's like, my name's Leslie, bye.
This is Leslie. That's what you do. You go, oh, this is Leslie.
Yeah, so, it was just this frantic voice. The pieces all fell together later, but in that moment, I didn't know who I was talking to. I didn't know who I was calling. I didn't know why I was calling. I just knew that the voice in my head was saying, call now. You have to call now. And so I called you.
I was in the lawyer's office, knowing they were talking about the lawsuit, and I was in my mind screaming for David to help me, because I felt like if I didn't sign that, to soothe that I was going to be failing him, not doing everything in my power for him. It wouldn't bring him back, but it would stop somebody else's child from going through that. But at the same time, when they told me they would put pictures of David up on that screen, I knew I wouldn't be able to take that. But I also felt like a failure as his mother, not being able to do it. And so screaming for him to help me, somehow help me, let me know that if I didn't do this, I still wouldn't be failing him. And I get a call that I don't recognize the number. I don't know that number. But I kind of felt like, here's my chance. And so I tell them I want to go and smoke. And I'm outside, doesn't really smoke. And I keep hearing, listen to the phone. So I listened. And it was the perfect answer to me screaming at David. I knew that she had contact with him.
Yes, I follow Leslie on Facebook. Oh my gosh, yes. And I'm often one of the ones posting, so I sure do. The best thing I get out of the posts on Leslie's Facebook is that I'm not the only one with issues, and that she is a blessing in disguise to all, and available to the world if they'll only look.
Well, usually it's a message that somehow whatever she's getting, it's usually something that's right on. It's going on in my life, and I know that she's giving general statements, and I know we all are going through different things at different times in our lives, but I just think she's so in tune with us as humans that she really is able to hit things on the head and just really be able to help you work through certain situations in life.
But the most incredible part of it was when you did the healing and bringing in the angels. And I just remember laying on the floor with a set of headsets on, and you just started working out my body, stopped at my stomach, saying there was a hole there, which I had just had a tumor removed, I don't know how long before that. Kind of got me by surprise. But that wasn't even it. As you're going up close to my face, you said stop, and you felt like there was something clogged in my ear. The next thing I know, I've got this gushing of fluid coming out of my ear, and you finished the healing, and I was just in total shock. It was the most incredible thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
The reason why I sought her out was I was suffering from ulcer pain, and it was really disabling. She did card reading first, some energy clearing, and then the healing began. She worked on the front area that I was having the issue with, and then she proceeded to go to my back area. Now, I never told her that I had back pain whenever I would have an ulcer attack. She just felt something was going on there. So she continued the healing session. It was about a 2.5 hour session. But let me tell you, once I left, I had never felt better.
That mosquito is back for my blood. Oh man, that O negative stuff. So I was raised in a very fundamental Christian household. Those mosquitoes, oh my gosh, they are like making a buffet, a Leslie buffet out of me. Okay, all right, back on track here. So I have probably 5,000 mosquito bites now because they like my O negative blood. I am like a Leslie buffet. What really stinks about this is for 7 years I had to go buy my blood, right? My body just didn't make that stuff. I had to go buy it. So that mosquito probably took $30 because blood's expensive. Did you know that? Did you know that blood is expensive? Blood is outrageous. Every time I'd have to get a blood transfusion, you get that bill and you're going, huh? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that mosquito took another $12. That mosquito on my left ankle, $6. Right leg, $30. Who knows? Yeah, so we're gonna have to go in and end this interview because I'm dying. It's getting too expensive out here.